Hello, everybody. My name's Jameson Chase Young. This is Coins and History. Today I'm showing off my 1921 Morgan Silver Dollars. The 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar is a really popular year, and it's a single year production. The U.S. Mint only minted these for one single year. They actually had to make entirely different dies because the last year that they minted these was 1904, and the old dies were discarded. So they had to make new dies. I don't know how to explain it, but if you look closely, there's something different about them. Obviously they're a little bit more crisp because, they're decades newer than the old ones, but they're the same, but there's something different. Like, I know the rims are a little bit finer, like the rims that go around the outskirts of the silver dollar. They're like a little bit finer. For the most part, they're the exact same, just a lot of them are a lot more newer, so they're a little bit more prettier, if you know what I mean. It's also obviously the Morgan silver dollar 1921 is the last silver dollar before the peace silver dollar, and the peace silver dollar, the 1921 peace silver dollar, is the silver dollar that replaced the 1921 Morgan silver dollar. And the beginning of this silver dollar is very sad in the fact that the 1918 Pittman Act approved the melting of over 270 million Morgan silver dollars. They did that because we had the reason why we stopped in 1904 was a silver shortage, and when they restarted making silver dollars, it wasn't necessarily because we opened up more silver mines. We just melted down over 270 million silver dollars from the older ones, and a lot of the silver that we melted down from those older Morgan silver dollars ended up going to Great Britain. So that's how we replenished our stock, though, to start making the 1921 Morgan silver dollars and the 1921 peace silver dollars. And it's important to note there are no New Orleans 1921s. There's obviously no Carson City 1921s. Carson City Mint, they stopped making Morgan silver dollars in the early 1890s, and I think the mint shut down sometime in the early 1900s. The 1921 Denver Mint, it's the only Morgan silver dollar that the Denver Mint ever minted. Now, there's a total of 86,730,000 1921 Morgan silver dollars. So it is by far the most popular silver dollar, because you have to keep in mind those older ones. Not only did no individual year make over 86 million, but those older ones, because of that 1918 Pittman Act, tens and tens and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of them were melted down. Then combine, which that didn't affect the post 1918, the 1921 Morgan silver dollar. So on top of those older ones getting melted down, and the 1921 being minted off significantly higher numbers than any other year, the 1921 Morgan silver dollar is definitely by far the most common one. And the Philadelphia, this here is a Philadelphia one. I'll show you in the picture. This Philadelphia, if you zoom in, you can see that right under the D or right over the D and the O, you can see there's no letters whatsoever. If it's unmarked, that means it's a Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia minted 44,690,000. Then the San Francisco Mint, on the back, flip it over, I'll zoom in and post. Right above the D and the O, you can see the S. They made those S's and D's extremely small, but I'll zoom in the best I can. It's right above the D and the O on the back. And the San Francisco Mint minted 21,695,000. This is a 1921 San Francisco Mint Morgan silver dollar. And then the Denver Mint, the only Morgan silver dollar the Denver Mint ever minted. Once again, flip it over on the back, zoom in, you can see right above the D and the O is the D in Denver. And the Denver Mint minted 20,345,000. The Morgan silver dollar is 90% silver, 10% copper. It weighs 26.73 grams. Its diameter is 38.10 millimeters, and it is 0.77344 troy ounces of silver / 0.77. And this is the 1921 Morgan silver dollar The one thing I'll have to say about them is, like I said, they're decades newer, so a lot of them come out looking really nice and really crisp. And for the most part, the main thing you'll notice is just how, a lot of them are a lot nicer and newer looking than some of those old Wild West Morgan silver dollars. And by far about the most important thing that was going on in the world in the United States in 1921 is the Tulsa Race Massacre. It was a 2-day long race massacre, took place in Greenwood District of Tulsa, Oklahoma. This happened between May 31 and June 1st, 1921, when mobs of white residents, some of whom had been appointed deputy and armed city officials, they attacked black residents and destroyed homes and businesses. The event is considered one of the worst racial violence episodes in American history. The massacre took place on Memorial Day weekend of 1921. There was a 19-year-old guy named Dick Rowland. He was a black shoe shiner, and he was accused of assaulting a white 21-year-old elevator operator in the nearby Drexel building. He was arrested, and the rumors that he was to be lynched were widespread. He was going to be lynched where a white man named Roy Belton had been lynched the previous year. Upon hearing reports that a mob of hundreds of white men had gathered around the jail where Rowland was being held, a group of about 75 black men, some armed, arrived at the jail to protect Rowland. The sheriff persuaded the group to leave, the jail assuring them that he had the situation under control. And the most widely reported and collaborated inciting incident occurred when the group of black men left, when an elderly white man approached O.B. Mann, a black man, and demanded that he handed over his pistol. Mann refused. The old man attempted to disarm him. A gunshot went off. And then, according to the sheriff, all hell broke loose. So, kind of sounds like one of those Revolutionary War things where accidental firing led to a huge battle. But yeah, according to the sheriff, once this gunshot went off, all hell broke loose. The two groups shot at each other until midnight, when the group of black men were greatly outnumbered and forced to retreat to Greenwood. At the end of the exchange of gunfire, 12 people were dead, 10 whites and 2 blacks. Alternatively, another eyewitness account was that the shooting began down the street at the courthouse, when a black business owner came to the defense of a lone black man being attacked by a group of around 6 white men. It is possible that their eyewitness did not recognize the fact that this incident was occurring as a part of a rolling gunfight that was already underway. Anyway, about 10,000 black people were left homeless, and the cost of property damage accounted to more than $1.5 million in real estate, $750,000 in personal property damages. That's about the equivalent of $39.66 million in today's dollars. By the end of 1922, most of the residents' homes had been rebuilt, but the city and the real estate companies refused to compensate them. Many survivors left Tulsa, while the residents who chose to stay in the city, regardless of race, largely just kind of kept silent about this for years and years. And it didn't seem like it was a big deal for a lot of years on the history books. And the deaths, anytime the deaths vary so drastically, I guess you could say that they don't really know. But yeah, the deaths vary anywhere from 36 to 300. But some reports say 36, 26 blacks and 10 whites. Some reports say over an estimated of 300. But there were more than 800 people admitted to the hospital, and as many as 6,000 black residents in Tulsa were interned into large facilities, many of them for several days. The Oklahoma City Bureau of Vital Statistics officially recorded 36 deaths. And then events identifying 39 deaths, 26 blacks, 13 whites. So, we'll just call it 30, 40, 50 people died. But yeah, when reading through the death statistics, it is all over the place. So I'm not sure if they ever really knew how many people died. But that happened on Memorial Day, 1921. So that's what was going on when this coin was being made. And yeah, these 1921s are extremely pretty. Normally speaking, you can pick them up for like $1 above spot. And normally speaking, they're a lot less worn and torn than some of the Morgan silver dollars from the 1870s and 80s and 90s. So this is the 1921 Morgan silver dollar, and my name is Jameson Chase Young, and this is Coins and History. Please like this video and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.